Let's talk about education for just a few minutes. There's been a lot of talk about charter schools and the money following the student and different ways to accomplish that. Should Georgia lawmakers expand educational options to allow student education dollars to follow the student to a school that fits their needs, whether that be public, private, charter, magnet, or should we make no reforms? What is your position on this, and please explain your answer. Dr. Bulkey, you're first.
So on education and whether money should follow the student, I do believe that that's certainly a absolute possibility. I spent 4 years in the school board education, and I learned what it is to actually educate one student or each student in the public school system. It's a very, very difficult task. The budget is fixed, and you only are dealing with just a portion of the budget, doing other things to help students. So I think that charter schools are options. I think all magnet schools, some of my kids went to, when we were in Montgomery, Alabama, spent time in magnet schools, and they were excellent. I think it's about educating the kids. It's each kid. Every kid is different, and I think that we can try to teach to the student and not teach the test, as we have said before. So I do think it's very, very, very important that the money follows the child, because I think the child is the ultimate winner when it comes to that.
Thank you. Mr. Singleton?
As a husband of a teacher in Tattnall County, I find a lot, and I find myself researching quite a bit on education. And there's a current bill right now, HB 11, which actually addresses this, which allow the students can attend any school they want to in a neighboring county, as long as they can use an address legally. If you have a friend that lives in the next county over, that student would be allowed to go to that next county and enroll just by using somebody else's address, and they want to make that legal. I don't really agree with this, the concept of the money following the students. I believe that's going to really hurt rural schools, which is our concentration. If Tattnall County was to lose students, it's going to lose money. How will we attract and keep teachers? They're already some of the lowest paid teachers in the state by using just a base salary. So if we lose one student, and I believe it's something about $5,900 or $3,900 a day per student, what happens when we lose 10, and then 20, then 30 to go to bigger schools in Bullitt County or anywhere else, Chatham County? So no, I'm completely against that money following a student itself.
Thank you. Ms. Palmer?
Thank you, Jessica. I'm a strong advocate of public schools. I want them to be strong because they provide a good education for us to have a workforce when all these folks grow up, and we need a workforce in order to have a strong economy in each of our small rural counties. At the same time, there are children who have needs where they would best be suited at some other type of school. I'm not opposed to money following the children if there's an appropriate formula for that so that our public schools can be supported. It needs to be handled very carefully so that the public schools are not lessened in any regard in terms of their effectiveness and abilities to provide services to the children. But at the same time, there are circumstances where children would do better in a different type of setting. And because children have special needs, because they have individual needs, we do have to fashion a system so that perhaps some portion of the monies can follow, not a dollar for dollar like to the public school, because here again, the public schools have to be maintained for the good of all. If we're not having the children properly educated in a public school setting, if that's what's best for them, then we will all suffer from not having them educated properly. But we do need to work on some sort of system so that children who are better off homeschooled, children who are better off in a Christian school, children who are better off in some other setting will have the opportunity to be certain that they can achieve that goal as well. One size does not fit all, and we have to fashion something appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Palmer. Mr. Hickman?
Yes, ma'am. Education is a top priority for me, and it's obviously a top priority for all of us. The basic foundation of our society is having an educated society. To have economic development, we must have three factors, and I'll explain those factors later on, but education is one of those prime factors. We've got to provide education for our children. We also need to recognize that different children require different needs, and we also need to recognize that charter schools also provide a need for children. Not every child wants to go to college. Not every child needs to go to college. And I think charter schools feel that way. We can identify children at a younger age and put them in different areas, areas that they love, areas that they want to learn in. And so I'm a product of a public school system. My wife is a product of a public school system. Both of our sons are product of public school system. We got 3 grandsons that are in public school, and we got 1 grandson that's in private school. So I understand the needs, I understand both of them, and I know there's pluses and minuses, but the main focus behind it is taking care of our children. And then obviously, as someone here said, taking care of our teachers. If we don't have great teachers, we won't have a great education. And great teachers follow money. And we need to find a way to increase what we're paying these teachers. We need to take the loads off these teachers. They're working horrendous hours with a lot of responsibility. And they're doing it because they love it, but they're not doing it because they